Welcome everybody to the Irish Hills of Michigan. This is the SCSRA Fortuna Iron Truck Series here on iRacing, brought to you by Intensity Broadcasting. And we got about 2.5 minutes before qualifying gets underway. We saw Eddie Morris go back-to-back last week, both at Atlanta and at Dega the week before in the Truck Series. Let's see if he can make it 3 in a row at what's basically his home track here in Michigan. Let's take a look at our points coming into tonight. And this is now the round of 6. This is the last race of the round of 6 before we move on to our championship 3 next week at Homestead. And we see Devin Bucino at the top of the leaderboard. Brian Merle Jr. sits back in second. Derek Chaput back in third. Michael Rosberger, Bobby Mays, and Brian Canuti on the outside looking in currently. And Brian Canuti in a must-win situation. He did not make it to the race last week, so he is basically in a must-win situation to move on to next week. Let's take a look at the board right now. And you can see Brian Canuti up at the top of the board, and you see those 6 chase drivers are highlighted in bright green. See the 2 of Gannon Cyphers out on track. Gannon currently sitting in the 11th position. Rocking that number 2 that's been made so famous by Isaiah Gill. There's Eddie Morris out on track. As we see one truck blowing up behind him. That's the 84 of Dave Wright smoking behind him. So, not really sure what happened to Dave there, but Eddie Morris from Sevierville, Tennessee. Born and raised in Michigan. Huge Detroit Red Wings fan, and I was giving him plenty of crap when my Avalanche won the Stanley Cup this year. Another driver on the outside looking in currently is the 3 of Michael Rosenberger. Rosenberger has to have a good finish here tonight to move himself forward. One driver in the playoffs we haven't seen put up a time yet. That is the 74, Brian Merle Jr. I do see him in the server, but I haven't seen him turn a lap yet. So we'll have to see what goes on with Jr. here tonight. Eli Raposa, another one of the DBC drivers. As qualifying is about to begin here in Michigan. And let's see who our first driver to hit the track is. Looks like nobody wants to hit the racetrack just yet. Looks like it's going to be the 8 of Eddie Morris, the first one onto pit road, but he's going to pull right off pit road. And Michael Provolt.
Josh, I need some serious help.
Hang on one moment, and I'll be right back with you, folks. I do apologize for that, folks, as we see Michael Provolt on track right now, making his way off of turn number 4. And across the line, and the first driver to put a speed down. Craig Schroeder, though, jumps up to the pole position. Now Eli Raposa up to the top of the board, as we see Michael Proval have a little connection click right there. Another driver out on track. We see the 47 of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, who's celebrating his birthday today. So happy birthday to Cheeseburger. As Cheeseburger's making his way off of turn number 4. Heading down to the stripe. Bobby Mays currently up at the top of the board. We see Cheeseburger right down on the apron, cross the line. He's going to jump up to P2 on his first lap. As Devin Bucino now jumps up to the top of the board. Well, let's see what Cheeseburger does off of turn number 4 here. And across the line. And Cheeseburger is going to stay in that 4th position currently. Joseph Wright jumps up to 4th. See one of our chase drivers here, Derek Chaput, out on track. Chaput currently in the top 3. Has to have a good run tonight. And we could see an all-neon championship 3. Chaput is going to come across the line here. His first lap is going to put him up. Apologize, that was his warm-up lap. So this is his first time lapped. Now Chaput is going to make his way off of turn number 4, and his first lap will be good enough for the 8th position. Let's see what he's able to do here on his second lap. And Gan Cyphers jumps up into the 4th position. And Chappie's going to come across the line. And he's going to stay in that 10th position. We see Brian Canuti out on track. Again, Canuti in a must-win situation here tonight. First lap is going to be good enough for 15th place. As we see Canuti come through turns 3 and 4. And down to the stripe. And Canuti is going to move himself up into the 5th position. So he's going to have a little bit of work to do here tonight. So we got about 3.5 minutes left in qualifying. See Cody Moore just making his way on track. Let's see if we can talk to Brian Canuti real quick. Hey, Brian, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, buddy.
Hey, man, good qualifying attempt up in the 5th position. I know this is a must-win situation for you tonight. I know you probably want to be a little bit closer to the front there, but a pretty good lap there. What's the plan going into tonight?
Honestly, just the plan is just try to have a nice clean race, try to get back towards, or try to get towards the front, try to keep in touch with all those neon racing guys. Hopefully, my YXU teammates kind of help me out a little bit too, and get a good pit strategy, and hopefully, I can just hang with them and either crank out a win or maybe one of them have a mistake or an issue. We'll see what happens. It can be good.
Yeah, Michigan can be a wild race for sure. Anything can happen. It's almost like a super speedway. So good luck to you tonight, and we'll talk to you there at the end.
Yep. Thank you, sir. You have a good one.
That was Brian Canuti again in a must-win situation here tonight. Here his strategy, just going to have a solid race, get himself in position to lock himself into the next round as Cody Moore is 12th fastest. Not what we normally see out of that 52 machine. So we got about 2 minutes left here in practice. Or, excuse me, about 2 minutes left here in qualifying. Of course, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. Whether it's your first time or you're a long-time watcher, we do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, we do have the chat up for you to chat along as well. And don't forget to support us. You can that like button does do a lot for us. We also have our web store. There's a link down below where you can find hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs for not just Intensity Broadcasting, but your favorite series, as well as Atlee Atmanwisa's web store is down there as well. So we got some novelty t-shirts, some Intensity t-shirts. Check it all out at intensitybroadcasting.com. Of course, we want to thank our fantastic sponsors, been with us all season long. Fortuna Iron coming on board to sponsor the Truck Series. We really do appreciate them coming on here this season. I know next season we will have a different primary sponsor for the series. It will be the Maze Construction Truck Series starting next year. So we want to thank the Maze Mafia for coming on board and sponsoring the Truck Series next season. I do know that Dev's Sports Cards will be doing the Xfinity Series again next year as well. So we want to thank Devin Butchno for coming on board with the Xfinity sponsorship. It really does help everybody out here. It allows you to get to watch this awesome broadcast and lets these guys have a little fun out there and race. So we do appreciate it, and we do appreciate all the fans that tune in each week, day in and day out here on Intensity Broadcasting. We have about 5 seconds left here in qualifying. Looks like Brian Merle Jr. was able to make his way out onto the track, so he will be on the track tonight, but he's going to have a lot of work to do to get himself in a position to make the final three. Let's go ahead and take a look at your starting grid. And on pole tonight, don't know why I did that for me. On pole tonight is the 68 of Devin Butchino, with Bobby Mays to his outside in position number 2. Starting third will be the 55 of Kyle Mays, with Eddie Morris looking to make it 3 in a row here at Michigan, starting in 4th. Then Brian Canuti in a must-win situation, rolling off from P5. P6 will find the 2 of Gannon Cyphers, with Brett Merle in the 11 in 7th. Joseph Wright rolling off from the 8th position, with Dave Wright in 9th. And Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, the birthday boy, rounds out your top 10. Michael Rosenberger, another one of your playoff drivers on the outside looking in, rolling off from the 11th position. And Cody Moore in the 52 will take off from P12. Michael White in the 09, he'll be rolling off 13th, with Will Witt in the 53 Budweiser machine, rolling off from the 14th position. Todd Mays in the 9, he'll be taking off from the 15th position, with Derek Chaput way back in 16th. Another one of the Neon drivers looking to have a good finish here tonight to get himself up into the round of 3 next week. Michael Provolt in the 95, In that Fortuna Iron Truck, rolling off from the 17th position, Eli Raposa. Rolling off from 18th, and Craig Schroeder and Brian Merle Jr. round out row number 10 here at Michigan. We see the patriotic 68 of Devin Butchino in that red, white, and blue paint job. And we hope everybody had a happy and safe 4th of July weekend. Now we're going to get some racing here underway, as it's going to be 55 laps here from the Irish Springs of Michigan. Looks like Kyle Mays might have a little issue getting the truck started up there on pit road. Now he's going to find himself getting back into position here. As the sellout crowd is going to be on their feet, getting ready for these trucks to do battle for 55 laps here at this 2-mile Michigan International Speedway. Pace car is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Devin Butchno is going to lead him down to the starting zone. Waiting for the green lights to come on. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Michigan, and Butchno already a great jump on the start. See Bobby Mays trying to get down in behind that 68. Kyle Mays has Brian Canuti right all over his back bumper. We got 3 wide racing in the back. All right, 4 wide racing. Cody Moore pushes it 4 wide with, that's Joe Wright, Cheeseburger, and Bobby Mays. Oh, Cody Moore in the wall. Able to keep it going, though, but heavy damage for the 52, and I believe Joe Wright was involved in that as well, as Devin Butchino's going to come off of turn number 4. Let's see if we can see what happened to Cody here. See if we can get a better view of it here. We saw some 4 wide racing with Cody Moore back here in the back, and it looks like a little contact between him and Cheeseburger pushes him up into Joe Wright. 2 of them make heavy contact with the wall. Up front, though, we got 3 wide racing. Dave Wright to the bottom, giving a push to Brian Canuti. You see that 11 of Brett Merle up on the high side. Kyle Mays was in the middle. Now we're back to 2 wide racing as Devin Butchno is still leading here over. No, I'm taking that back. It's Bobby Mays taking the lead from Devin Butchno. As Butchno gets really loose, comes down, almost comes into the side of Kyle Mays as they make their way down the backstretch. And, oh, so Kyle Mays holds on to it. He almost just got turned by Brian Canuti as he makes his way back onto the track. Loses a ton of track position, but able to hold on to it as Brian Canuti moves himself up into the 3rd position. So already seeing some wild racing and a lot of contact between drivers. Brian Canuti takes a look down to the inside of Brett Merle. And just behind, we got 3 wide racing for just a moment again. Oh, Brett Merle bounces off the wall now, right in front of our leaders. 3 wide racing again. Dave Wright in the middle, Eddie Morris on the top, Brett Merle on the bottom. You see Derek Chaput up in the 37, trying to make his way through the field. Currently up 4 spots into the 12th position, just looking to have a solid day. Try to move himself up into that championship 3. Eddie Morris still up on that high side, trying to make it 3 in a row here at Michigan in the Truck Series. Trying to steal that win away from Brian Canuti to keep him out of the Championship 3. Here comes Canuti looking down to the inside of Devin Bucchino. He's trying to make it 2 for 1 here as he's already underneath Bobby Mays as they come off of turn number 4. Bobby's going to throw a bit of a block, though, as they come down the front stretch. And now Bucchino's going to use a little side draft on Brian Canuti to pull him backwards. But Canuti just too strong getting into the corner as we are back to 3 wide behind. Now we're back to 4 wide. Rosenberger making contact, bouncing off of Gan Cyphers. See the damage to the left side of that 3 machine, but he's able to continue on. The right side of the 2 is going to be matching. As Rosenberger, another driver in a must-win situation. Ooh, some contact between him and Michael White. These drivers making hard contact at 180 miles an hour. Dave Wright looking down to the inside of Brian Canuti, trying to make something happen here. Kevin Bucchino's going to line up behind Brian Canuti, form the train up on the high side. The draft is going to be a huge part of the racing here tonight. We're already seeing that. As the field makes their way down the front stretch to start lap number 8 of 55. And from the drop of the green flag, it's been nothing but wild racing all throughout the field. Well, I got a quick little break in the action. Let's go back and take a look at the pass for the lead. Bobby Mays just doing it right, setting it up off of turn number 2. They were 3 wide for a moment. Bobby Mays gets the run off the corner, and that's how he was able to get around Devin Bucchino with a push from Kyle Mays. So a little Mays Mafia action getting Bobby up to the lead. Brian Canuti now sits back in second. Dave Wright in that 3rd position. Devin Bucchino sitting back in 4th. And Kyle Mays back in the 5th position. Devin Bucchino has a solid lead. In fact, just starting the race locks him into the final 3. As Brian Canuti is trying to take a look down to the inside of Bobby Mays. Bobby currently sitting back, coming into the race back in 5th place. 10 points behind Derek Chaput for that 3rd position. So Bobby's either got to win the race or finish 11 positions ahead of Chaput. Right now Chaput's running in that 8th position, so he's put himself in a good position for that round of 3. As we see Dave Wright roll over the back bumper of Bobby Mays as they make their way down into the corner. Take a look off the back bumper of Bobby Mays. A great view off the back bumper. You can really see how aggressive, or excuse me, how abrasive the track is here. And with the high speeds and the abrasive track, the tires are going to be starting to wear off within the next couple laps. And you'll see these drivers starting to slide around a little bit. You'll see some drivers who might have been at the front start to fade to the back. Some of the drivers in the back start making their way to the front. Kyle Mays taking a look to the outside of Devin Bucchino now. While that's going on, we got a battle for the lead. Brian Canuti Taking it all the way down to the apron. Trying to get around the 5 of Bobby Mays. Here comes the 84 of Dave Wright into the mix as well. And Brian Canuti is going to get the pass done. He's going to move himself up into the lead. Here comes Dave Wright. Thought about making the move down to the inside. He's going to tuck back in line here. We'll wait for another opportunity as Eddie Morris now trying to get around the 55 of Kyle Mays. Kyle's had a pretty exciting race so far. We saw him almost lose it off the rear bumper, or off the front bumper of Brian Canuti, able to hold on to it. Fell back through the pack, and now he's driven his way back up into the 5th position. Now we're starting to see the field start to spread out just a little bit. As I say that, Eddie Morris takes a look down to the inside of Kyle Mays. And Will Witt making a move here on the 37 of Chaput. Giving that 37 a big shove down the front stretch and into turn number 1. We see Todd Mays taking advantage of the loss of momentum that the 53 just had. As Uncle Todd's trying to move himself up into that 9th position. But Will Witt's going to hold on to it for now. As Uncle Todd makes another aggressive move down to the inside to try to take that 9th position away. We've been green flag since the drop of the flag here. A couple drivers having some issues. We saw Cody Moore and Joseph Wright get up into the wall. You see all the damage to the side of the 52. We see the damage to the 82 as well. Brian Merle Jr. sitting back in the 19th position. Doesn't look like he's got any damage. I think he's just trying to stay safe, stay clean, and advance to the next round, as he's got a pretty good advantage over 4th place. As we've got a battle up front again. Devin Buccino and Dave Wright battling for 3rd place, and Buccino's going to take that 3rd position away. We see Todd Mays and Will Witt going at it side by side. Looks like Mays is going to take that position away, although Will Witt's fighting hard back on the high side. Might have been a little bit of contact there between Will and Uncle Todd, as Will's giving a big shove to the back bumper of that 9 machine. We've got Derek Chaput right in front. Looks like Cody Moore's made his way maybe not. I thought Cody Moore made his way down on the pit road. Oh, looks like he just may have got off track a little bit, but it looks like he's gathered it up. So we got a battle back here. Craig Schroeder working that high side, trying to get around the 3 of Rosenberger. That damage to the side of the Rosenberger doesn't look like it's more than just superficial. A little bit of contact side to side, door to door contact with the 2 of Gannon Cyphers earlier. Not really slowing him down. I think he's just trying to be conservative here at the beginning of the run, as Cheeseburger has Schroeder looking to the outside, as Joe Wright is the first truck to make his way down onto pit road. And pit stop should be starting up pretty soon. If you're just joining us for the first time, at the bottom of the screen, you see the pit stop. First 3 letters of the last name will be on the screen. If the word pit is flashing, That means they're on their way to their pit stall. When it's solid like it is now, that means they're getting service. And right there, when it turns the numbers, that's how long the pit stop was. It was a 15-second flat stop for that 82 team. And then 44.7 seconds was his total time on pit road. So it gives you an idea of how that works. So lap times right now are in the 41-second bracket. A pit stop will cost you almost 48 seconds. So right now, if you were to pit, you will go a lap down. Brian Canuti continues lead up front. It's a tricky pit road to get onto. Let's see if we can ride along here on the nose of Brian Canuti. And as you come down the backstretch and into turn number 3, you can hear he's still almost wide open. And then that pit lane really comes up on you quickly to the left here, and you can see that. There's your entrance on the pit road, and we've seen even the best of the best NASCAR drivers struggle to get on pit road here. We remember the incident that happened with Casey Kane and Mark Martin back in 2014, where Mark Martin got impaled by the wall just behind the driver's seat. A wild wreck. If you've never seen that one, you can find that one on YouTube. And fortunately, everybody was okay, but it was just a wild ride for everybody trying to make their way on the pit road. Driver who's been falling back quite a bit is the 2 of Gannon Cyphers. He just got passed by both Cody Moore and the 11 of Brett Merle. And we still see the damage to the side of the 52, so doesn't look like it's slowing him down too much. His last lap was a 41.44. The leader ran a 41.13. So not a lot of damage to this 52 machine. A lot less than I originally thought, because he made pretty heavy contact with the wall. Here's the 55 of Kyle Mays. He's got Michael White taking a look to the outside now. As these two make their way off of turn number 4 and down to the front stretch. Kyle Mays, though, is going to have the advantage here at the stripe. As we are quickly approaching the halfway mark. Derek Chaput made up 6 spots from where he started, currently running in the 10th position. Again, trying to have a good, solid run here to lock all 3 Neon drivers up into the playoffs here tonight. But Brian Canuti up front, and starting to pull away from Bobby Mays, is trying to put one of those XYU or YXU drivers into the playoffs. Again, Brian Canuti currently 31 points behind Devin Buccineau, but only 14 backs behind Derek Chaput. But with a win here tonight, he can solidly lock himself in tonight. If he was to make a mistake on pit road or something and find himself down towards the back, it would be pretty easy for Chaput to get around and take that playoff spot away. See Dave Wright all over the back bumper of Devin Buccineau again. Cody Moore has made his way down on the pit road. And we might start to see a flurry of pit stops taking place now. And don't forget, your playoff drivers are highlighted in that lime green color. Take a look at Brian Canuti here, see if he makes his way down on the pit road this time. or if he decides to stay out. We see Michael Rosenberger making his way down onto pit road. And Brian Canuti down, hooking that yellow line. I believe he's coming down to pit road. Yep, here he goes. That's going to give the lead to Eddie Morris as Brian Canuti almost lost it. Coming on the pit road, got a little squirrely there, able to get it woe down in time. Bobby Mays, Michael White, Kyle Mays, Derek Chaput, Craig Schroeder, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, see Michael Provolt, and Eli Raposa all on pit roads. That's going to give the lead to Eddie Morris over Devin Butchino. And Eddie Morris trying to, again, make it 3 in a row here. One at Talladega, one last week at Atlanta. And now we see Eddie Morris coming on to pit road this time. Dave Wright also coming on pit road. We see Butchino. Oh, Dave Wright loops it on the pit road. Able to hold on to it. Didn't make any contact with the wall. Able to hold on to it. What an incredible save. But unfortunately for him, lost a lot of time getting on the pit road. And Brian Canuti gets off of pit road right in front of Gannon Cyphers. So when things cycle around, Canuti will be your leader. You see Will Witt, Brian Merle Jr., Brett Merle, Gannon Cyphers all on pit road now as well. And Devin Butchino makes his way off of pit road. Brian Canuti just went on by. There goes the 5 of Bobby Mays. Michael White goes around as well. There goes Kyle Mays. So Butchino's got his teammate right there in front of him. And Butch get up on the track a little too early. We'll have to see if he gets penalized there. It looked like he might have jumped up on the track just a little too quickly, but we'll have to see what race control says about that, as Brian Canuti now has a 2-second lead over second place Bobby Mays. And pit stops have now wrapped up. Brian Canuti again with a 2-second lead over second place Bobby Mays. That's another second back to third place Michael White, Kyle Mays. How about Derek Chaput up into the 5th position? So Chaput doing everything he can to move himself up into the next round. .92 pit stop for Derek Chaput. That helps out a ton. His total time on pit road was 44.37. That was the second fastest. The only driver who was on and off of pit road faster was Michael Rosenberger with a 42.37. So, great job for Derek Chaput. All he's got to do is just stay where he's at to move himself into the round of 3. Because we are just past halfway. We've got 24 laps to go. And Kyle Mays starting to stalk the 09 of Michael White. Bobby Mays right there in the mix as well. So 3-car battle for second place. And while that's going on, it's allowing Brian Canuti to pull away. Battle continues here. 3 trucks under a blanket fighting for second place. Bobby Mays in the playoffs. Kyle and Michael White are not in the playoffs, so let's see if they cut Bobby a little bit of slack here. Now they're side by side behind Bobby. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night. The SCSRA Dev Sports Car National Series will be taking on Bristol Motor Speedway for 120 laps as they start their first round of the round of 6. So you're not going to want to miss that one tomorrow night. Atlee Atman Weiss will have the call. This has been a great battle right here between these 3 drivers. Showing a lot of respect and a lot of discipline, though. Not making any wild moves as we still have. We'll have just 20 laps to go when they cross the line this time. Other than these trucks right here, everybody else kind of spread out among the track. No real battles on the track at the moment. Brian Canuti is continuing to pull away from this group right here as they're racing side by side. We see Kyle looking now down to the inside of Michael White. But White's going to have that little draft off the 5 of Bobby Mays. We do see just a little bit of damage to the right front of that 55. I don't know if he was up into the wall or maybe up into another driver, but seems to be hindering his progress at the moment, as he's just not able to get past that 09. As now Michael White taking a look up to the high side of Bobby Mays, trying to take over that second position. And he's going to take over that second spot. We know Bobby, again, trying to do everything he can to lock himself into the next round. And the points for the next round are going to be tight. The only 2 that are guaranteed to move on so far. If the race was to end right now, Brian Canuti, Devin Buccineau, and Derek Chaput would be your final 3. We still have 18 laps of racing left. Speaking of Buccineau, he's got a little challenge from behind. As you see the 53 Budweiser machine all over the back bumper of that 68 of Buccineau. Todd Mays right there as well. Another little battle back here between Cody Moore and Eddie Morris. Eddie Morris is currently in the 15th position. Not looking like a three-peat's going to happen for the driver of that 8 machine, as you see Cody Moore and Joe Wright together again. As the battle for second continues between Michael White and Bobby Mays. Bobby not giving up, wants that second position back. Seeing what he can do to get himself back up into the second position, as Will Witt now all over Buccineau's back bumper. Give him a big shove down the backstretch. But not quite getting the run that he needs to try to get around that 68 machine. So he's just going to hang tight right behind, kind of give him a big shove back up towards the front. We have just 15 laps to go. Brian Canuti now coming up into some lap traffic. Oh! The lap traffic not cutting him a break. As we saw Eli Raposa and Dave Wright battling hard for position. They're actually battling for the lucky dog position if the yellow is to come out. And that was happening right in front of our leader, and that is not what Brian Canuti wanted to see. It's right on board with Canuti, and you can see exactly what he just saw. Oh, Raposa bounced off the wall, and then he was just trying to get down out of the way. And great job for Canuti, able to see that and avoid it. As now Will Witt looking to the high side of Butchino. They've got Shappy right there along with them. Behind Todd Mays and Craig Schroeder in tow. Sorry, that's Todd Mays and Brett Merle in tow. Brett currently a lap down. Will's going to make it 3 wide going into turn number 1. Butchino's going to wisely back out of it. Let Will take that position. Again, Will's not running for points, where Shappy and Butchino know they need just to have good finishes here to move on to that final 3. So move Will Witt up to 5th. Michael White now starting to pull away from Bobby Mays. Kyle Mays as well, as Eli Raposa is going to stay up high and out of the way. Looks like pretty much smooth sailing now for the 40 of Brian Canuti. He's got Dave Wright in front of him, but they're pretty much matching lap times right now. You see Cheeseburger hitting pit road. See this gaggle of cars continuing the battle back here. We see Butchino all over the back bumper of Will Witt. Uncle Todd, Shappy right there as they're coming up on the lap truck of Eli Raposa. And Eli's going to stay high up out of the way. That's going to allow both Will and Butchino to get on by. Here comes Shappy, getting ready to deal with the lap traffic. Him and Brett Merle are going to dive down to the low side along with Uncle Todd. So doesn't really slow them down. A little further back, Michael Provolt looking to get around the 3 of Michael Rosenberger. With just 10 laps to go, Brian Canuti with a huge lead, almost 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds over the 09 of Michael White. Bobby Mays runs back in 3rd, but I don't think it's going to be enough for Bobby to make himself or get himself up into contention for that final 3 playoff spots. Joe Wright has just made his way down on the pit road. And this battle continues between Butchino and Will Witt for the 5th position. So Brian Canuti has just 15 miles to go before he's going to claim his win and punch his ticket to the round of 3, unless something wild happens. If we see a yellow flag, so far though, green flag since the drop of the green flag. And drivers making pit stops. We got Cody Moore and Michael Lawrence Cody Moore and Michael Provolt on pit road. Joe Wright was just on pit road. Brian Merle Jr. was just on pit road. So we might actually see one more pit stop out of these guys. We'll have to see how this plays out. So Cody Moore had to take a splash of fuel, about 4 seconds of fuel. Which tells me that Brian Canuti may not be able to make it to the end on fuel. We'll have to see if he drops down on the pit road this time or in the next couple laps. As he comes across the line, he's going to have just 6 laps to go, although he's got a big enough lead right now. He might be able to save a little bit of fuel to make it to the end. Again, Canuti in a must-win situation. Do you gamble and stay out, or do you gamble and come in and risk the caution? That's the question that's going through his mind right now. As we come across the line this time, we'll have just 10 miles to go here at Michigan, 5 laps. Does anybody else make their way down on the pit road? Looks like everybody else currently staying out. Ooh, Cody Moore coming back down pit road. I think he might have sped on his way out. Looks like he's going to have to make a stop and go here. So just 4 more laps for the 40 of Brian Canuti. He'll punch his ticket to Homestead. Devin Buchino running back in the 5th position has already punched his ticket to Homestead. It's looking like Derek Chaput. Unless something, again, catastrophic happens, Derek Chaput is in a position to move on to the round of 3. Brian Canuti comes off of turn number 4. He's going to see 2 laps to go at the starter stand this time. As he comes down the backstretch, has that sniff of draft from the 84 of Dave Wright. Just 2.5 miles left to go for the driver of the 40. Once that white flag comes out, the yellow flag will be put away. Just 1 more lap to go for Brian Canuti. Does he have enough fuel to make it to the end? Saw a couple drivers. You hear Brian Canuti shutting the truck off in the corner, trying to save as much fuel as he can. Is there enough in the tank to get around? That's the big question. Bobby Mays able to pull almost a half a second on Brian Canuti that time as he makes his way through turns 3 and 4, shutting the truck off, saving as much fuel as he can. Brian Canuti is going to win here at Michigan and punch his ticket to Homestead. Bobby Mays is going to come home second. Devin Buchino, a photo finish at the line with Will Witt, comes home in third. Will Witt comes home fourth. Kyle Mays rounds out your top five. Todd Mays comes home sixth. Derek Chaput in the seventh spot. That's going to be enough to move him on to the round of three. Craig Schroeder, Eddie Morris, and Michael White round out your top 10. But it's all about the driver of the 40. Again, in a must-win situation. Doesn't let the pressure get to him, and he puts it in victory lane. We talked to him before the race. He said he just had to have a flawless run, and that's exactly what he had. And now he punches his ticket to Homestead, where he's got a chance to win his first SCSRA championship. You see his YXU teammate give him a push around, trying to save a little bit of fuel for a burnout here. Does Canuti got enough fuel in the tank to light him up here on the front stretch? That's going to be the question. Maybe with a little assist from his teammate here. Nope, he's just going to park it right there on the front stretch. Let's take a look at your full results as Brian Canuti again gets the win here tonight. Bobby Mays, Devin Buchino, Will Witt, and Kyle Mays, your top five. Todd Mays comes home sixth. Derek Chaput in seventh. Craig Schroeder, Eddie Morrison, Dave Wright round out your top 10. Michael White comes home 11th. Brett Merle in 12th. Michael Rosenberger in the 13th position. 14th goes to Michael Provolt. 15th, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. Happy birthday again to Cheeseburger. Eli Raposa comes home 16th. Gannon Cyphers in that 17th position. Joe Wright 18th. Cody Moore 19th. And Brian Merle Jr. finishing in 20th. As we get ready to talk to our top three, starting with your third place finisher tonight, Devin Buchino. Devin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
10-4, I got you, Josh.
Man, solid run for you tonight. Not a win, but just enough. Pretty much just needed to start the race tonight to lock yourself into that round of three. I know it looks like Shappy is the other driver to make it into a round of three besides Canuti. So congratulations to Neon for a great run this season as well.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. I'm really proud of Chapped. Junior was up there. I mean, he had some graphic card issues before the race, so sucks for him. But nobody won regardless. Congrats to him. Yeah, it's been a good season. I'm just really happy to have two Neon guys. Chapped's he's really come on strong here the last 2 months. I'm really proud of him.
So, what was the strategy tonight? Did you just try to mirror what everybody else was doing tonight, or did you kind of come in with your own set of skills, kind of seeing what was going to happen as the race went on?
I did a few run in practice, and we able to go 26 laps, so I knew we'd be tight, and we fell back a little bit on that first run because we were just saving, and Nudie and those guys put on 27, and we made it to 28, and I figured we had it in the bag. I didn't think they'd be able to make it all the way at all, and that's why I was racing Will so hard at the end because I knew I thought it'd be for the win. I figured him and Bobby would run out up front, but I finished with 0.8 and pit a lap after them, so that tells you a lot about their fuel saving. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, Canuti was shutting it off there the last few laps, so he was able to save that fuel. But hey, great finish here for you tonight in the third position. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank, any shout-outs you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys at Intensity. You kill it, Josh, every Thursday or every Tuesday for us. I want to shout out to the dudes. I get dinner every week on Tuesdays with my buddies, Aaron and Bailey, and they always ask why I never shout them out. So shout out to Aaron and Bailey. And then just level up subs real quick. My friend Bernie, huge NASCAR fan, fell in love with watching the SCSRA races. You guys, his dad passed away recently, so I just wanted to say that we're all thinking about you, Bernie, everyone over there. So, yeah, hopefully we can go get another championship for level up subs. I'm really excited.
Well, again, congratulations on the podium tonight. Congratulations on making it into the next round, and we look forward to seeing how the final round at Homestead plays out next week.
I'm excited, Josh. I appreciate it.
So that was your third place finisher, Devin Buchino. Let's bring in your second place finisher, Bobby Mays. Bobby, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, great run tonight. Coming up a little short in second. I know you kind of were in a much win situation here, trying to get yourself into the round of three, but I know you can't hang your head too hard because you put up a great season. What was the strategy coming into tonight? Did you think you were going to follow these guys the way they ran their strategy, or were you just kind of playing it out by ear?
I tried to come in here and get the pole, and I finished second there, and I tried to win the race, and I finished second there. But at the end, I was kind of hoping Nudie might run out of fuel. We pitted at the same time, so about the last 15, 18 laps, I was trying to save fuel and still hang on to second or third, and save fuel. The 9 car did run out of gas, so, and I thought he might too. So that was really, I just all out really, except for just trying to save fuel right there at the end.
Yeah, for sure. I know we rode along with Canidi for a couple laps, and he was saving fuel. Shut the truck off. Were you shutting yours off as well, or were you just trying to roll it as much as you could?
No, I clutched it a time or two, but I didn't feel comfortable with doing that, so I just lifted early and just kind of got in late, if you know what I mean, just easy and smooth. And I run out just as soon as I crossed the line. And he said Dave Wright, he was drafting off Dave there at the end, and that's how he saved enough too. So.
Yeah, those two things help out a lot. But hey, second place tonight, second place of the start. I know almost made it into the round of three. A great season for you, nothing to hang your head on, and going to be the series sponsor next season as well. So we look forward to all the good things out of Maze Construction next season. And before we let you go, anyone you want to shout out, anyone you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank the whole series. It's just been a real fun year this year, in both this and Xfinity. And thanks to Nudie for running this thing, and I appreciate what all of us do together and Maze Mafia there. And yeah, let's go next year. We are going to sponsor it next year, and looking forward to it.
Well, again, congratulations. Thank you again. And we look forward to seeing what next season brings to you.
All right, Josh. Appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
You as well. So there you have it, your second place finisher, Bobby Mays. Let's bring in your winner tonight, the driver of the 40 machine, the man, the myth, the legend, Brian Canuti. Brian, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, buddy. Yeah, baby.
Man, must-win situation. We talked to you before the race. You said you just had to execute tonight, get on and off of pit road well, do what you had to do to get yourself the win, and that's what you did. And, man, how were you able to save so much fuel there at the end? I know you had a little draft from D. Wright, and I know you were shutting it off there in the corner, but was that enough? That was enough to get the win here tonight, huh?
It ran out with about 100 feet crossing the start-finish line. I was able to save enough just because of D. Wright. If D. Wright wasn't there, I don't think I would have been able to win that race. I don't know if I would have been able to save enough fuel. But yeah, man, what a race, huh?
It was wild there, especially at the beginning. We saw some 3 and 4 wide racing through the field, and but able to keep it green the whole way. And I know in the back of your mind, I know that little voice is talking to you saying, you know, there's a caution that's going to come out. How confident did you think that a caution was going to come out and ruin your strategy there?
Honestly, I didn't think a caution was going to come out just because everybody was so spread out. And I thought worst case scenario, caution does come out. Everybody's got a set of tires. I felt like the majority of the field would have pitted, and I think if there was anything less than 6 cars, I don't think even 2 laps you would have been able to hold them off.
Well, an awesome run for you tonight. Getting the win, locking yourself in the top 3. Looks like the top 3 will be you, Devin Butchno, and Derek Chaput going for a championship next week at Homestead. How do you like your chances next week at Homestead?
I love Homestead. It's one of my favorite tracks. Devin, though, he's very tough to beat there. So that's going to be tough. And Chappie, he's the dark horse there, man. He's just the guy that could just come out of nowhere, just snag it up and be your season 2 winner.
Which would be incredible. A little bit of a long shot bet. I'm sure the boys in Cincinnati are going to be looking at the odds of that one come next week. But, man, again, congratulations on the win here and the season. You've had a great season so far as well. And before we let you go, anyone want to shout out any thanks you got to give here tonight?
Oh, yeah, as always, I got to thank my beautiful wife for letting me do this. Got to thank my kids. They were actually watching tonight. My youngest was cheering me on from the living room. I also got to give a shout out to all my teammates over at YXU. You guys up in the booth, you guys do an awesome job. To all the admins in the SCRA, awesome job. And also got to give a shout out to D Wright. If it wasn't for him, definitely wouldn't have been able to win that race. So thanks to him. Bad misfortune for him, put him in that situation, but I was able to capitalize on it.
Well, again, congratulations, and we look forward to the awesome race that we're going to have at Homestead next week.
Yep. All right. Thank you very much, man.
Well, there you have it. Your winner tonight, Brian Canuti, with the must-win situation, getting the win here tonight and moving himself on to the round of 3. So join us next week for the finale of the SCSRA Fortuna Iron Truck Series as our 3 drivers, Devin Bucchino, Brian Canuti, and Derek Chaput, will be taking on Homestead for a championship. Plus, there'll be other drivers on the track as well trying to get that final win of the season. So tune in next week as we get ready for a showdown at Homestead. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night as the SCSRA Devs Sports Cards National Series takes on Bristol Motor Speedway. And then we've got the Original Rebels kicking back off this weekend. The Original Rebels Grand National Series, the Xfinity Series, will be taking off this Friday from Daytona. Saturday night, we'll have the Send It Cup Series, and Sunday night, your truck doubleheader. And the Doghouse Racing League returns next Tuesday as well. So a full week of racing here on Intensity Broadcasting. And then we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. We do appreciate you tuning in each and every week. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know you like what we're doing. Don't forget to check out the web store. Support us any way you can. And as always, as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over